organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, more construction. See where the University of Iowa is eyeing for more improvements.
In Cold Case, hear about how a 5-year-old case is about to be closed. And in sports, on the road, in the rain, no problem. We're heading for East Lansing for post-game coverage of another impressive Hawkeye win. That's all coming your way next. Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Brad Maxwell.
And I'm Eric Dawn.
It's been 4 years since the devastating 2008 floods damaged a significant portion of campus, and with it, the first floor of the IMU. That will soon change as a result of a $31 million project to restore what the flood destroyed. Reconstruction has been in the works since the flood, and the plans will be up for a bid for contractors after the construction documents are finalized. UI Associate Vice President David Grady said, quote, "Many UI students have not experienced a full functional IMU. We're anxious to get the construction started so that the ground floor can be reopened," end quote. The ground floor will include additional food and study space for students.
And in other news, a lawsuit against the UI may be coming to a close. We have Daily Iowan TV reporter Anna Theodosis in the studio with more. Anna?
Thanks, guys. After 5 years, a decision might finally be made on the Theresa Wagner case. After reviewing the case, we were able to make a timeline to spell out what occurred and when. Theresa Wagner applied for a position as a professor at the UI College of Law in 2006. She did not receive the position. The College of Law states that it was because of a poor interview, but Theresa Wagner said that it was because of her political viewpoints, as she identifies herself as a conservative. According to public records, at the time of her interview, there was only one faculty member at the college that was a registered Republican. Wagner filed a lawsuit against former College of Law Dean Carolyn Jones, alleging discrimination based on her political beliefs in 2009, gaining national attention. On March 30th in 2010, a U.S. district judge dismissed the case with prejudice, making it impossible for Wagner to make the same claim again. Wagner made an appeal to the ruling in 2010 to the U.S. 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. In late 2011, a panel of the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in St. Louis ruled that her case should go to trial. The U.S. Court of Appeals reversed the district court ruling in the case in February 2012, finding that Jones's actions violated a constitutional right of political belief and association. And in April, protesters took to the streets on the University of Iowa campus in support of Wagner, saying that there is a political inequality among faculty. UI President Sally Mason took to the press to defend the university's hiring process. Tomorrow, October 15th, 2012, a jury will hear the case at the U.S. courthouse in Davenport. According to court documents, the case is expected to take no more than 5 days. That's the latest on the case. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Anna. And still to come on Daily Iowan TV, recolonization. See how one fraternity is trying to reach out to more students.
And in sports, we're updating everything black and gold from a busy weekend of Hawkeye athletics.
But first, let's check in with Stefan Duran for a look at this week's weather. Stefan?
Thanks, guys. Well, after a cold, rainy weekend, unfortunately, we will have to deal with some more rain throughout the week. Tomorrow will be the best day we'll see all week. We are going to start with clear skies and 46 degrees in the morning, and then in the afternoon we will see temps rise to about 63 degrees. Tomorrow night, the temps will drop back down to around 46 degrees and cloudy skies. Now let's take a look what's in store for the rest of the week. Tuesday, we can expect cloudier skies compared to Monday and only a high of 52 degrees. Wednesday and Thursday look to be very similar with lows of mid-30s and around 40 to 50% chances of rain both days. Wednesday will be a bit warmer though with a high of 64. Friday, the rain chances go away, but the temps continue to decrease with only a high of 52 and a low of 36. Weekend temps on Saturday look comparable to Friday's with a high of 54 degrees and the same cloudy skies. Then on Sunday, the chance of rain comes back with a 20% chance, but with the rain will come warmer temps of 64 degrees. So although we are going to see quite a rainy week, let's hope Mother Nature keeps the rain out of Iowa City on Saturday night for the big football game against Penn State. Back to you guys.
UI fraternity Delta Epsilon is recolonizing. This past week, the group has been working hard to recruit new members with a tradition that no other fraternities have. Rebecca Hager tells us more.
This house, now home to Tau Kappa Epsilon, will be occupied by Delta Upsilon next fall. 5 years ago, Delta Upsilon was forced to leave campus, but this year a new group of men are reigniting the brotherhood.
We left then and now we're back, and we're more excited than ever to be back.
Delta Upsilon has been holding meetings in the IMU, and unlike most fraternity meetings, they're open to anyone, member or non-member. Delta Upsilon is the world's only international fraternity that has no secrets and reveals all of its rituals and oaths.
For us, it's about transparency, relevancy, and having an open process. Ultimately, our name, Delta Upsilon, stands for, or means, justice, our foundation. And so for that, we think the most just thing is to be open and to be non-secret.
This transparency is a part of what makes many of the members proud to be a Delta Upsilon.
I think that really says something about how proud this fraternity is of itself. I think being non-secret, we can let anyone can ask us any question really about the fraternity itself, and we can answer honestly.
The reputation of Greek life has been tainted with the recent removal of Sigma Alpha Epsilon from the University of Iowa campus. But Delta Upsilon says that they can offer a fun and safe experience for their new members. And by eliminating secrets, they hope they can also eliminate hazing.
That is one of the greatest things about us, is being non-secret. We can guarantee we're non-hazing.
So far, the chapter has 34 members, and they hope to keep growing. Rebecca Hager, Daily Iowan TV.
The colonization date for Delta Upsilon is set for November 3rd.
A clash between politics and religion, a familiar scene during election season, is back again, and this time at a church in Burlington, Iowa. A woman who attended the city church said pamphlets were given out at a Sunday service encouraging voters to remove Iowa Supreme Court Justice David Wiggins. Wiggins was one of 4 justices who voted in favor for a law banning same-sex marriage violated the Iowa Constitution. This same ruling sparked a similar outburst that removed the 3 other justices in the 2010 elections. As a tax-exempt institution, federal law prohibits the promotion of political candidates. A complaint was filed with the Internal Revenue Service on October 10th, alleging the church's involvement in a political campaign.
And staying with the upcoming election, let's take a look at what is happening outside of Iowa. President Obama is leading Governor Mitt Romney in early voters' ballots, despite Romney winning the first presidential debate. Results from the Reuters Ipsos poll show the president leading by a comfortable margin of 59%. Governor Mitt Romney, on the other hand, has only gained about 31% of the early voting. The second debate between the 2 candidates will take place on Tuesday.
And British defense officials say they will be reducing their presence in Afghanistan. Philip Hammond, the British Defense Secretary, says that he plans to withdraw 500 of its troops this year. Currently, there are over 9,000 British troops in Afghanistan.
And the supersonic skydiver has done it. A little after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Felix Baumgartner jumped from a world record altitude of over 10,000 feet. During the jump, he was able to reach speeds fast enough to break the sound barrier. His original jump was scheduled for last Tuesday, but weather postponed the world record try until Sunday.
And the Iowa football team picked up a huge victory over the weekend, vaulting them to the top of the Big Ten Conference. We can now toss it over to Ian Martin, who's in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio, for more. Ian?
That's right, Brad. A big weekend for the black and gold on the gridiron. The Hawkeyes battled through the elements in East Lansing to pick up a huge Big Ten Conference victory. Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Josh Bolander kicks off our coverage.
Thanks, Ian. It was Herky versus Sparty Saturday afternoon as head coach Kirk Ferentz and his 10-point underdog Hawkeyes invaded the unfriendly confines of Spartan Stadium to face a 4-2 Michigan State squad hungry for a Big Ten victory. We picked this one up early first quarter. Iowa's signal caller James Vandenberg drops back in the pocket, pass tipped, and right into the hands of junior defensive back D'Amicos Allen. Sparty would capitalize on the early turnover. Le'Veon Bell waltzes his way into the end zone, 7-0, green and white. Things would settle down and points were hard to come by the rest of the first half. Mike Meyer and Dan Conroy would both convert on field goals from inside their own 25-yard line, but Michigan State's defense would put the clamps down on Hawkeye running back Mark Weissman, while the black and gold defense made sure State star Le'Veon Bell got much of the same treatment all afternoon. 10-3 Michigan State on top at the end of the first. We jump ahead late fourth quarter, 13-6 Michigan State. Iowa with the ball, 3rd and long, and Vandenberg airs it out deep down the sideline to Keenan Davis, who makes a spectacular diving catch, keeping the Hawks' hopes alive. Same drive, time starting to run out for the black and gold. Another 3rd down, and running back Mark Weissman finally breaks through the Michigan State front for a huge gain. After a tough Vandenberg run put the Hawks inside the 10, Weissman would finish what he started, running over defenders, tying the game 13-13. And forcing overtime. After both kickers once again exchanged field goals in the first overtime, common theme in this one, Mike Meyer would hit this 42-yarder, Hawks up 19-16. Things not over, State quarterback Andrew Maxwell gets the ball back in the second overtime. 2nd and long, Maxwell's pass is tipped and picked by Greg Castillo. The visitors' bench explodes, and Iowa emerges with the win 19-16 over Michigan State. Kirk Ferentz gets his 100th victory at the helm of the black and gold, and it vaults the Hawks to the top of the Big Ten standings. Now here's sideline reporter Annie Constable with more on the win.
The Hawkeye team that could. Arguably one of the most underrated teams in the Big Ten marched into Spartan Stadium and in just over 60 minutes grabbed their first true win on the road and now stand in first place in the Legends Division of the Big Ten Conference. Senior quarterback James Vandenberg has received his fair share of criticism this year after failing to live up to his junior year performance in the first 5 games of his senior season. But after leading this team to a double overtime win, the Hawkeye captain is proving exactly what he and the offense are capable of. One play in particular, on 2nd and 26 on Iowa's 18, Vandenberg connected with receiver Keenan Davis for a 35-yard gain that led to an Iowa touchdown and proof that when it's on the line, Iowa's offense is capable of getting it done.
I don't care if they're home or away. The close ones are the ones that really separate the good football teams. And I thought we executed very well down the stretch. Made the plays when we had to. It wasn't always pretty early, but made the plays when we had to and gave ourselves a chance.
James is the biggest leader, one of the biggest leaders on the team, and it's a team win. I know he's talking about us, not him, and that's one thing we love about him. He's working. We won the game, so it's what we did, the team, defense, offense. He's thinking that way.
Coming into the season, the Hawkeye defense was projected to be the Achilles heel of the whole operation, that the offense would be the side behind the success of this Hawkeye football team. It's actually been the opposite. After the first 5 games, Iowa's defense ranks 4th in the Big Ten and doesn't look to be slowing down.
I thought they really competed, and we started out in really adverse circumstances, held them to 3, which is a positive, and just thought they played hard all day long, and to win on a turnover there at the end, outstanding.
To be honest, it's not a statement game to anybody. It's we know what we can do. We go in every week praying to beat the other team. We don't hear the outside noise. We don't read any papers and stuff like that to prepare better for the next game. Something like that. It's not a statement game. We knew we had to do in the locker room, and Coach Ferentz talked to us, prepared us best for it, and we came out here and got the W.
While the Spartans were the team that held on to the lead for the majority of the very rainy game here in Spartan Stadium, the Hawkeyes were ultimately the team to pull ahead in double overtime, sending the Hawks back to Iowa City with their 2nd straight win. Wrapping up coverage here in East Lansing, I'm Annie Constable, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
And as always, there were a number of other Hawkeye teams competing over the weekend, and well, at least football won. Iowa soccer's perfect home record was sullied twice this weekend, first in a surprising shellacking by the Ohio State Buckeyes on Friday night. Senior defender Dana Dalrymple's goal, the only bright spot on Friday. Sunday, Iowa almost pulled off a huge upset of Penn State. Chloe Lacasse had her 12th goal of the season, but the number 4 team in the nation's second half tally held Iowa pointless on the weekend. Field hockey will probably stay highly ranked after a solid win over the Dragons from Drexel on Friday, but Iowa did suffer its first loss in Big Ten play this season as Penn State got halfway to double digits. Lastly, Iowa volleyball, coming off its best weekend in a long time, lost twice, although they did win sets both days. Minnesota has now beat Iowa 34 matches in a row. Hawkeyes have not beat the Gophers since 1995. Saturday, about as close as they come in the sport of volleyball, at least until the fifth set when Wisconsin pulled away. Alex Lovell with a huge 19-kill game for Iowa, but the Badgers left Carver Hawkeye Arena with a win. Cross country and golf, both also in competition this weekend, and we'll have coverage of every Iowa sport all weekend long. Unfortunately, though, that's all the time we have tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into Monday's edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about what are some of the issues affecting veterans in Iowa this election season.
And hear what former U.S. Representative Jim Leach's message was for the Humanities Association. That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.